ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you here to the Children in Crossfire press conference, which welcomes the Dalai Lama here to the city of Derry. The way we'll start it off is that Richard Moore, the Director of Children in Crossfire, will explain some of the rationale behind the conference and why the Dalai Lama is here. His Holiness then will say a few words, and then I'll open it to the floor. And at that stage, you may regret what you're wearing, because I'll be identifying you by ties and headbands and whatever else. And we'll try to keep it as tight as possible, so if you could say your name, the huge organisation you're from, and keep your questions short. We'll try to get around as many people as possible. Okay? Thank you.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, Richard.
I think I have a radio mic. I don't know if it's working, but yeah. Right. Okay.
I can sit.
Well, okay. Yeah.
You don't need formality.
No. Oh well. Just to say that the purpose behind this event is Children of Crossfire has celebrated its 10th anniversary. We have been running a conference for the last 2 days in the Millennium Forum, the City Hotel, and it's going to close today in the Millennium Forum. And that conference is called A Promise for the Future, and it's basically focusing on the rights of children, locally and globally. I'm just simply trying to revisit those issues and raise the agenda. We have a wide group of delegates there from all over the world. It also will help Children in Crossfire hopefully refocus ourselves in the next 10 years so that our work remains relevant. When we were deciding who would be a good person to be the guest keynote speaker at that conference, well, when we looked at the issues, compassion, human rights, forgiveness, peace, then there's no one on this planet who fitted that description more than His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. And he is someone that knows what it's like to suffer, that not only talks the talk, but has actually walked the walk. And his message of compassion, forgiveness, and peace is something that we felt was very important for our country. And to be honest, I never thought the day would come when His Holiness would visit our city at my request. So, what are you doing? And on a personal note, as most of you already probably know, I met the British soldier that shot me last year. And I went through a difficult period just before I went to meet the soldier, and I had given up my aspiration to meet the British soldier. And I went to hear His Holiness speak in Belfast in November 2005. He didn't know I was going. I didn't know I was going until that morning. And he spoke about me from the platform. And I have to say I found the whole experience very moving. So when I left that particular session, I made all the phone calls to make sure that I could meet the soldier, because if someone like His Holiness remembered me after 5 years when I first met him in 2000, and remembered my story, and it was as important to him, then surely I could make that final step to meet the soldier. So I wrote His Holiness a letter and told him that I met the soldier. And then the last paragraph, I said, and by the way, we're running a conference, would you come and speak at it? And within 10 days, he responded to say yes. So I would like to officially welcome him here now, and I will hand it back over to Tom. Thank you very much.
So, this visit, the main purpose to participate in the conference he organized. As soon as I received the invitation, I felt very, very happy and proud. So I accepted. So now I'm here. I'm very happy. Now I'm looking forward to see the conference this afternoon. So at airport yesterday, I met him at third time, isn't it?
Third time, yeah.
His spirit always calm, happy, full of spirit. So at the airport, I really am very, very happy. Now he mentioned the person who speaks on this conference need more worthwhile. I doubt. If the same sort of tragedy happened on my case, I'm wondering whether I act like him or not. I don't know. In his case, actually experimented and he practiced forgiveness. In my case, not yet experiment. But of course, I always believe compassion, warm-heartedness is, I think, some kind of blessed moment.
I consider the compassion is the true source of blessing that we already have within ourselves.
Irrespective of the believer or non-believer, we, from the birth, we already have the sources of affection, compassion, because we ourselves survived with mother's affection. As soon as we born, within a few minutes, mother bring in her hand and touch and give us milk. I think that's the way our life began. So the child, no idea who is that person, but by biological factor, immediately bring together due to affection. Biologically speaking, that's necessary. Without mother's milk, without mother's care, we cannot survive. And not only question of survival, but also the rest of our life. Much depends on the experience of that moment. So I just asked him, what kind of his relation with his mother, he told me, very, very sort of warm, sort of close feeling. I think that's the one major factor. You see, he becoming more compassionate person. As a result, that unexpected tragedy happened, his response more kind. Not anger, hate. And when I first met, see, he told me that after his eyesight lost, his feeling now no longer is it the opportunity seeing my mother's face. Very touching. That shows, isn't it, his sort of very, very close feeling with mother. As a result of mother's fullest care. So that's, I always believe, the basic human value. Not come from religious teaching, but come from biological factor, by nature. So that, wherever I go, I always tell people, the real source of our happiness and real source of our strength is human affection, which come from birth. Now modern scientists also now begin to realize more compassionate person, more warm-hearted person, the immune system increasing. Frustrations, hatred, anger actually eating our immune system. So physical well-being also, the warm-heartedness is the key factor. So happy family, happy individual, happy society, happy humanity must depend on the inner these values. So now, he, my hero, right? My hero, whether he believe it or not, I don't know. Now,
If you say it, I believe it.
oh?
If you say it, I believe it.
But he is really, I think the wonderful son of humanity. So me personally, is a hero. So this clearly demonstrated how much value about human affection, which he got from his mother. So that I wanted to tell you. Then this morning I teach him, his wife and two daughters come together to see me. So then I teach him that because his peace of mind, eventually he met beautiful wife. So I teach, he cannot see the wife, the face of the wife. I can see, quite beautiful. And his two daughters, very beautiful, very attractive. He cannot so. He cannot enjoy that. I can. So therefore, I told, you see, his daughter, the daughters, now they should carry their father's spirit, the practice of forgiveness, on the basis of compassion. And not only their generation, but also coming generation, their children, children's children, should carry their father, their grandfather, great-grandfather's sort of spirit. I don't know. I expressed this morning. And so now the conference about the children, younger generation. I'm looking forward. Of course, my talk usually, you see, depend on the audience. If the audience no showing interest, then my enthusiasm also gone. If the audience fresh, then my enthusiasm to talk also increasing. So I don't know what kind of atmosphere will be afternoon. But basically, youth is the generation of future world. Well, so now we are at the beginning of the 21st century. I belong to 20th century. 20th century, I believe, most important century of the human history. During that 20th century, we developed, or we carried experiment, various different kind of experiment, political system, economic system, and government system, and many things. And similarly, in the field of science also, we found many useful sort of, scientific findings. And also, some way, the 20th century also become century of bloodshed. Millions of people killed through violence, including civil war. Millions of people suffer. Our past, with our past experience, now this 21st century should be century of peace, century of dialogue. We need spirit of dialogue. Because problem bound to happen. Then we need appropriate method solving these problems. That's the only thing is dialogue, not use violence. Violence creates more problem. Look, the recent events, and particularly in the Middle East, and also Palestine issues. So more violence, counter-violence, more problem, more bloodshed, more suffering. Particularly innocent people suffer most. So therefore, the youth, children, is the generation who really create new shape of this planet. So there are my generation belongs to the 20th century. His generation, some
form of connecting generation.
20th century, 21st century. I am now over 72-year-old, right? So I belong to 20th century. I'm ready to say 21st century goodbye. So I think our generation really Josh House,
the remains of a problem.
I think my generation of the 20th century, I think, although some cases maybe I think sincere motivation, but the reality, more problems still remain there. More problem left. So now, younger generation have to handle that. So that's my main message to the youth. That's all. Now some questions, yes. Some questions.
Okay. Lady in the front row.
Oh yes, Sonia from GMTV. Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible throughout the history of the world, there's never been a totally peaceful time, that we can have peace throughout the world in our lifetime? Or do you think that the human spirit grows with conflict in any way?
Conflict means contradictory views, contradictory interest, contradictory system, I think itself, I think useful. I think the value of democracy. Let contradictory views, suggestions, let develop. That's useful for development of the whole society. Unified view, unified system, centralized economy is stagnation, right? Source of stagnation. Okay. So basically, I have the view, which is different views, different interests is useful. However, the differences used for physical conflict, then bad, mistake. But contradictory itself is a source of further development, further sort of opportunity of synthesize new thinking, new views, new system. So that's my view. I think even among the plant or our body, there is contradictory forces there. So contradictory forces, you see, they work together, then because of that, life sustained, right? Without contradictory forces, I think the plant cannot develop. I think that's my view.
Okay.
So basically, I feel now judging development within the 20th century, big differences, early part of 20th century and later part of 20th century, big change. I think desire for peace, feeling of fed up about violence, later part of 20th century, very strong, everywhere. Early part of 20th century, not that kind of sort of, I think, that kind of attitude. Including Green Party. Early part of the century, no idea. We have sort of another responsibility to take care about the planet. The later part of the century, then also now, even political party now formed. The totalitarian system, as I mentioned earlier, in the 20th century, some people believe human revolution was changed through revolution. One party system, totalitarian system can work. That also failed. So within the 20th century, I think we learned many new things. Result, we become more wiser and be now more sort of determination against using force. So these are, I think, positive indication. So therefore, if now 21st century is the follower of the 20th century, so basically I'm optimistic. Of course, that does not mean no problem. No, problem will be there. Right. Okay.
Your Holiness, whenever you first came to Belfast a number of years ago after the Good Friday Agreement, we had a press conference and I asked if the Good Friday Agreement was a pathway to peace, and at that time you said, I don't know, which is an honest answer, but having watched the Irish peace process over the years, and now that we've come so far, do you think, in fact, we have found that pathway to peace? And also, does it have lessons for other areas of the world? For example, you mentioned Palestine. Do you think the other countries should talk to groups such as Hamas, etc., to try and make a peaceful solution?
Since my last visit, now certainly is positive development, now including political side. Now the new government, I don't know the proper word, it is some kind of today coalition, or I don't know, the different parties, and previously you see fighting each other, now it's come together, and sharing a common responsibility. That's a wonderful development. And then also, my previous visit, I also have the opportunity meeting with those victims, family of the victims. At that time, the atmosphere is very tense. Everybody's face is no smile. Now today, I met another group. Some smiles there. Now, I also told them big differences, and I appreciate their calm mind and more peaceful mind, more friendly. I think mainly, due to one factor, certainly, digital contribution. So that also, I think, very, very positive sort of development, and very good. So I just mentioned there, in my previous visit, after visit, when I leaving, my heart feels some kind of cold and anxiety. Now I'm leaving tomorrow morning. As a result of meeting with these people, I have more peace. So that peaceful happiness brought by those victim people, people here. So therefore, I think this is, I often see telling the conflict like Northern Ireland, Catholic, Protestant, and then Shia, Sunni, and Hindus, and Muslims, and many parts of the world. So I often see telling, or I refer to the conflict, Northern Ireland is a conflict, mainly religious basis. So now, the new example, look, Northern Ireland, reconciliation, in the spirit of reconciliation, and with wisdom, work together, political field, as well as the religious field. So this is a good example. Certainly, more other similar situation will follow, but take time. So certainly, good example. There's no doubt.
Your Holiness, my name is Michelle Clarke. I'm from the Excel Results Foundation, which is a global network for entrepreneurs who believe very much in giving and contribution, so giving their money away to good causes. There's about 6,000 members worldwide. Yeah.
What?
Excel Results Foundation. It's a global network for entrepreneurs, which was started in Southeast Asia. And so we believe in contributing greatly and giving our money away. My question to you is, if the entrepreneurs of the world united, in your opinion, what would be the one thing that if they contributed to together would create the most impact? Or is entrepreneurialism part of the problem?
What was the main question?
So if the entrepreneurs of the world united, those who wanted to contribute, in your opinion, what would be the one thing, if we worked together, we could make the most contribution and impact? Or are we part of the problem?
I think education. I think from the viewpoint of global level, I think education. Now here, when I say education, it's not just a mere education of knowledge, but education of warm-heartedness.
Yeah.
That I think must combine education, how to use